Hello there, this is Owen Madden, BC Green Party candidate for the Shuswap. Just a quick video in answer to the question as put to me by the Enderby Chamber of Commerce around use of fossil fuels and the next 10 years. So my background was that I was a lawyer in Ireland, and I eventually came to chat with a potato farmer, believe it or not, at a farmer's market in Ireland, who told me about the changes experienced by him at his farm. He had planted seed potatoes at the same time his father had planted seed potatoes. Traditionally, signals were sent by springtime in Ireland that it was time to go and plant your seed potatoes. But he was finding it harder and harder to predict when to do that. Spring in Ireland began to sort of alter itself. The seasons had a marked change. That was back in 2006. It's continued ever since. So that was my introduction to climate change, and I re-educated in climate change. I went to Edinburgh University to study climate change law and did work for Ecojustice in Vancouver before becoming a farmer here in Enderby. And my awareness of climate change continues here. We've experienced forest fire smoke that's, believe it or not, reduced the amount of crops we could produce at different stages in the last few years. So we've watched flooding at our neighbours' farms down closer to the Shuswap River, which has reduced their ability to grow food. So climate change is real, it's here, we're driving it as humans in our activities around burning fossil fuels. And the good news is that we can change course. Solutions are available. Back then in 2006, I also became a uncle to my first niece, and from there I worked for her. I want to safeguard her future. I want to provide to her a stable climate, regardless of how we all vote. We all have a legacy. We all, in the end of the day, need to look ourselves in the mirror and say we did our best for the next generation, and they deserve better than to shoulder the cost, the outrageous cost of climate change and the harm it's causing. Just look at your property insurance. It goes up and up because of all of the natural disasters that are coming harder, faster, more frequent due to us altering the climate. We can't afford to build an economy around fossil fuels anymore, and the world knows that and is moving on. Regardless of the climate, we'll end up with the wrong type of products to sell to market because the world doesn't want them anymore. More than half the new energy projects in the world are the clean type, the ones from wind and solar. They are the growth energy industries, and our industry that we're focused on is fracking for gas, which is a highly destructive method of extracting gas. It drives climate change not only through being burnt in the end and creating carbon dioxide, but a lot of methane is also released by fracking for gas, and that's an even more intense climate change driving gas. So we can't afford to focus our economic future on fossil fuels. We are not unaware at the BC Green Party that quite a few people are working in the gas industry. We would disagree that our whole economy hangs on it, or indeed the Canadian economy. However, there are lots of people that work in gas right now, so we believe in a just transition. There are many different types of energies that we could be developing, like I said, from wind and solar. But there's also wider scale projects in the province that are required right now, like retrofitting our homes to make them more energy efficient. There's a plan called the Clean BC Plan, which the Green Party created along with the NDP when we were lucky enough to be in power. And it sets down ambitious goals of retrofitting our homes to be more energy efficient, and that generates an enormous amount of employment. So we would focus on reskilling and upskilling those workers in the gas fields of the Peace region and northeastern BC into a more innovative economy. And over the 10-year period, as specified in the question, we would build out an economy that's durable, stable, and that generates lots and lots of jobs, and even generates a strong energy industry, just not the fossil fuel type. Yeah, that's all on the BC Platform website. Just to sort of finish the question off, just to sort of show exactly where we are. In 2007, the BC Liberals did commit to a timescale for fixing climate change. We were to have a third less gases by this year, 2020, going into the atmosphere than was put out in 2007. Not only do we not have a third less gases going into the atmosphere, we don't even have 1% less gas going into the atmosphere. We're actually producing more, so we have failed. And don't forget that in the last 3.5 years, the BC NDP had also taken on that commitment, but at the same time, very strongly supported fracking for gas and the LNG Canada plant where that gas will be liquefied on the west coast when it's built. That's incompatible with a safe climate for our children, and we know that, and we don't believe that we can continue to go about that approach. So if we want to meet our targets on climate change, we need strong leadership. We need the BC Greens at the table. So vote BC Green. Vote for me, Owen Madden, for the Shoe Swap. Thanks.